Welcome back to another episode of the Heartland Show on Midwest Whitetail. We're really fired up to bring you guys this week's episode. Not only just because it's getting to be that time of the year where we're all going to be hitting the field here and jumping in stands, but this year on the Heartland Show we've made some addition with some guys from various states, and with that, some of those guys are able to be in the field hunting already. So we're going to meet up with Jace Mersberger to kick off the episode this week. And I'm told he put a really good buck on the ground already for this season, and it was a pretty close encounter. So I'm excited to check that one out just as much as you guys. After that, we're gonna go over to Iowa and we're gonna meet up with Deshaw, and he's gonna show us his hit list that he's putting together. And then we'll also meet up with Collins Marine, as he's got a hit list to bring us, and I know you're all looking forward to seeing that one. After that, we're gonna come back over the river and meet up with myself and Brad. We were able to get together this past week. We went to my farm, my home farm, and checked it out, that common area plot that I did in the beans. I'm excited to show you guys that and how that's progressed. And then we're gonna head over to one of Brad's permission farms and check out that inside corner plot we established last year and how we've kind of built off that this year and really improved it. So after that, we'll round things out with Bobby Hart. I know he's got an update for you guys, so I won't waste any more of your time. Let's jump in the tree and check out this week's first hunt.
Hey, it's Jace Mersberger here. I'm with my brother Josh. It's September 16th, which is the opening day of bow hunting in Wisconsin. And he went out this morning, saw a few does, but nothing real close. So I'm with him now. We're heading up, checking out a lease that we just got. And pretty much we got some rain in the forecast, but we got a ground blind out there, so we're gonna sit it, see what happens. It's opening day, so you know anything can happen. But we're gonna head up there now and we'll see you out there.
Well, it's the evening of September 16th, opening day here in Wisconsin. There's like an 80% chance of thunderstorms around 6, but we're gonna give it a shot. We picked a ground blind to sit in. At 1:30, there was a really nice buck where we wanted to sit tonight, and it's a pretty close-up shot of him on the cutty back, but he looks like a good deer. Hopefully, maybe he'll make his way down this way. So. And if it starts raining, we're going to pack up and get out of here. So this is kind of like a little scout trip. We're sitting kind of afar, can overlook the whole bean field. So we'll see what happens tonight. Stay tuned. Well, it's 6 o'clock, and as you can hear, it's raining pretty good, so nothing showed on the radar, but we're going to set it out for at least another half hour and see how the radar looks, because if it stops, I think they're going to move pretty good, so we'll see what happens. You'll have to stay tuned. Get another arrow.
Well, here he is. It took us all by shock. I mean, it went from we were just kind of getting out to fix up my dad's ground blind, and we got here, it started raining. We were just kind of chit-chatting after it got done raining, and out he came, and just crazy. I mean, opening day, you know, you're never expecting it, and then it happens, and came out, I mean, 8 yards away from the blind, honestly, and came out broadside, put a shot on him. It was high, but I had to scrunch down because of how high my seat was in the blind. I ran out here, you know, finished him off with a second arrow, but just a beautiful, mature buck, probably the biggest I've ever shot. I mean, it just shocked, truthfully, absolutely insane. We've got rain coming, so now we got a fun part getting them out of here. So, but first time hunting this land. I mean, we don't even have stands up. It's just a ground blind. That's all we got out here. So first time hunting it, and it just paid off immediately. Couldn't be happier, truthfully.
Well guys, welcome back. Another season here is upon us, and we're actually gonna be back in a tree here, hopefully in about 3 weeks exactly from today. So today we're back here on the back farm. This is the piece that I spend all my time hunting, and as you guys got to see last year, we were hunting some pretty good bucks, but just kind of wanted to give you guys a little update on what we got going on and kind of what we've been doing here in the off season. We came in and we actually went around this food plot here on the west end and started out by putting our monster buck plot screen, as you guys can see here over my shoulder, in. It's been pretty dry, as most of you guys know, here in the Midwest, and it seems like the rains that were coming would actually split this particular farm, so it didn't get as tall as we'd like, but we still should get some concealment entering and exiting the blind, which is really what we're looking for. But after that, we came back out and put out, I think it was 18 more cutty-back L's into our cutty link system. Tried to target some different areas that we necessarily haven't stepped foot in before, to try to pinpoint some of these bucks that we're gonna go after this year on our hit list. Once we did that, we actually decided not to turn up any of our food plots, and we're standing in one right here, and we actually got some pretty good growth with the clover coming back from last year. So again, we decided not to tear that up and just let the growth that was there continue, so that way we have a little bit of clover here. But the main food plot that we're going to be hunting over this year is actually off to the east here. It's a pretty good size alfalfa field, and we have a redneck blind, and that's actually where we spent most of our time hunting last year during early muzzleloader season. If you guys remember back to last season, we actually had an encounter with one of our target bucks, Tex, in that particular spot. So we're hoping that we'll be able to catch up with one of our target bucks in that alfalfa field here early muzzleloader as well. Another piece that we added this year is we included the redneck feeders. We added 5 of those here to the farm, and we're actually feeding the Axe 1 deer feed from Terra Products. I'll tell you what, that stuff is really nice on attracting the deer in. You get them nice and close to the trail cams, and you can get a pretty good inventory of the bucks that are showing up in your area. So I had numerous occasions where I'd put it out, and within the hour I had deer already coming up to that site and eating. So we're gonna get after them here. This early muzzleloader is kind of my game plan, and the hit list here on the back farm, I actually got 4 bucks that we're kind of targeting this year. The first one, we're gonna call him the Big 10. He's actually been hanging out in this plot that we're standing in today, and he's just a big framey 10. He's got some pretty good G2s and 3s, and I haven't got a picture of him here lately, but he looked pretty good in velvet, so I'm hoping history repeats itself and he kind of sticks around this area. The second buck that we have is a buck we're calling Chief. He's a pretty narrow but tall, heavy 10-pointer. He's kind of got a little junk on his brows, and he also has a kicker off of his G2 on the left-hand side. The third buck that we have is a buck that actually Emerson came up with the name. He's a really big 8-pointer with short brows, and his brows actually kind of make an L to the outside, kind of like a hitchhiker thumb. We decided to name him Hitchhiker. And he's been roaming around this part of the property as well. A little more to the east than what we saw out of the Big Ten, but he's another one that I'd really like to catch up with and lay my eyes on during early parts of the season. And then the last deer that we are bringing in is Blade. He's a really wide, he's kind of short time, a little heavy, 10-pointer. We kind of got him into a nice pinch area in the back of the property, and we've been getting him pretty regularly on camera there. So if he keeps hanging around, we're going to have a pretty good list of bucks to go after this year. So it's going to be a great season, and I know the rest of the crew has some great bucks that they can target as well. So look forward to showing you guys how the season unfolds.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to this week's Heartland show. Today I'm down here in one of my main river bottom farms, just getting some cameras put out. I got a bunch of cutty bags put out this morning. Started about 4:30 this morning and just about to finish up. I'm actually down here at the redneck plot right now, and this is the same plot that Dragos and Shay filmed me putting in these beans with the Case and the Great Plains drill this past summer. And as you can see, these beans have come up great behind me. We had to spray them a couple times with Liberty, but once we got the weeds under control, they shot up great. And some of the best beans I've ever had down here, and I think a lot of it had to do with that drill. So thank you, Mike, for letting me use that. I'm gonna actually introduce you guys to a few deer that I'm hoping to go after this year. Possibly one deer down here on this farm that we might chase. He's an older, it looks like on trail cam pictures. He might be 4 or 5 year old deer, but he just doesn't have much for a rack. He's kind of a smaller 9-point, but he looks real mature in trail cam pictures. So that might be a deer that we chase down here during youth season. But other than that deer, there's actually the buck we call EB, Elizabeth's buck. It's a buck that she had a really close encounter with right out of this blind 2 years ago, and he made a pretty decent jump. He lost his fours, but I've had one picture of him so far this summer, and he looks pretty good. So added some mass, and really looking forward to getting more pictures of that deer, hoping now that I got all these cameras out down here that he starts popping up here and there. And then there's obviously a few other deer down here from last year. The one that I had encounter with on the night that I shot my buck, he came in and attacked the decoy. He's actually going to be an 8.5-year-old this year. Has not been on camera yet, but he always shows up kind of that mid-September through October. And then the big 8 that we had pictures of a ton last year, had several encounters with him out of this blind and on another piece of the property. And then there's just a couple other up-and-comers that if they're 4 years old this year, which they're going to be, on this farm, it gets shotgun hunted hard. So if I have a 4-year-old that blows up, he's on the hit list. And there's 2 of them from last year that I'm expecting to show back up this year, 2 10-points that were just kind of framey and good-looking deer. And I do have some other deer showing up as well. Several miles to the north of me here, there's a couple of really nice 8-points, one with a big split G2, ton of mass. I'd love to get an eye on that deer. He's been showing up on camera quite a bit. And then the last 2 bucks that I've been getting pictures of this summer that I'm really excited about. It's on a farm quite a ways from here, but it's 2 bucks that I've got 3 years of history with each. One of them's just a big mainframe 10 with super tall brow tines. I actually found his shed last spring, and that deer sticks around on that farm all year long. So I might try to get on him with the bow early, but if not, I know he'll still be there. And then there's another deer on that farm that usually leaves mid-October, but last year he was actually daylight early October in the mornings a lot. We had some cooler weather, and that deer's a big mainframe 12 with split 3 on one side, and he's just a tank of a deer, long main beams, just kind of framey, and got a lot of added some mass this year, I think. So I'm really looking forward to chasing those 2 deer. I know there's a lot of other guys on the team that are having some really good success this year, getting pictures of nice bucks, and looking like it should be a really, really good fall for us all.
All right, guys, well, September 18th here, and I'm back on the farm today, and as you can see, I'm standing in this common area plot, we were calling it, and it totally exceeded my expectation. I knew we were gonna get germination like I talked about, just because the conditions were great. We got that rain, and I'm really grateful that I came back and packed this in. I think that made all the difference. But this is up really, really good. And with the plot, the beans still being fenced, these deer haven't been able to get in here at all, which is nice because there's lots of peas coming up, and even some volunteer beans are already starting to come back up, which is pretty awesome. Really happy with this came out. So we're not only just gonna get the common area, like I talked about here, for these deer just to come in and get in front of the blind, but we're gonna get a plot out of this as well. So, and I think this will definitely be a hot spot, because I don't know if you guys can see behind me. I'll get a shot of it, but the beans are really starting to yellow now. Not terrible, but it's starting. So, you know, and once those turn and start to dry down, those deer are gonna hit a phase where they're not gonna be in here as much, and hopefully this keeps them coming. So, while I'm in here today, I was gonna show you guys here, I'm gonna try something new that I believe it was Jeff Lindsay I'm stealing this from on Instagram. I saw him that he uses flagpole holders, just cheap flagpole holders to stick a branch in them for his licking branches. So I've got a T-post here that I'm gonna put an oak limb on that I cut down. I'm gonna get a cutty back hung up right here behind me and get out of here. I've been getting the link set up over the last couple days, so excited to start finding some of my bucks back here and see what's gonna show up this year. So I'm gonna knock this out and then head over and meet up with Brad here shortly. And we're gonna knock out some work at one of the permission farms we've got on Brad's. So, gonna get to work. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, man?
Oh, first awkward handshake of the year.
All right, guys, Brad Huizenga here with the Heartland Show. As Kane said earlier today, we're back on one of my permission farms here. We're actually just overseeded with some winter rye with this bean plot here. We actually, for the last X amount of years, we actually hunted this farm, my dad and I, for 20 plus years. We never really had permission to put any food or anything like that on it, so Kane and I really got together the last couple of years and got a plan for this inside corner plot, and we're just really anticipating a lot of really good deer. This farm's always produced nice deer. I shot a nice buck last year just to the north of here, a couple hundred yards, and it's just the way this farm sets up. It's a big bluff. Hopefully we're going to be able to pull deer from north and south, and possibly some from the west. There's a bunch of big swamp ground down in the bottom. We're just, the way this is set up, it's going to be really nice. We've got the Egyptian wheat screen on the back side here with the redneck blind. We'll be able to ride the Kaufman e-bikes right up to it. We're going to plan on hunting this plot, this farm specifically, quite a bit, and probably more than we ever really have this year. But we've really upgraded our entry and exit, and so a lot less pressure than we've ever had before also. So we're getting excited to hopefully get the cameras out here next couple days and really start bringing you some good pictures, and we're excited to give you some more content this season.
How you guys doing? Thanks for tuning back in to Midwest Whitetail Heartland. This is Bobby. I'm checking in from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, out here in the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Reservation. Just wanted to give you guys a little update on how my season will kick off. So I'm out here at this airport property. Last year, man, I had a beautiful 10-point. Don't have a name for him, just a big 10-point that was very mature. I had him hitting a scrape over here. We're right here next to the airport, and that airport is not huntable. So the deer move back and forth over here. We have a couple cornfields that's split by a few sets of hardwood stands. So I like to get back over here in between this irrigation creek and set up on the edge of these hardwoods. It's probably about a 30-acre stand of hardwoods, all mature oaks and some maple trees in there. And them deer love to make their way back and forth from these cornfields, traveling through along by that creek edge. So stick with me. Let's get out here. We'll get the trail camera set up on this tree. I'll show you guys the scrape. We'll check back in from out there. It's my first time heading out to that spot. So let's get to it and let's see how it looks. We made it out here to the edge of this cornfield. This is the scrape from last year. It's already active. I did freshen it up a little bit, but it already has a nice sized rub right behind it. This is where the Big Ten would move. He would move from the airport, cut through these beans. This year it's corn, so I knocked down a little bit of corn here, but I just noticed another hunter's tree stand. This is all open tribal land. We have about 5,000 plus members, and this particular piece is 180 acres, and I see 3 different stands. One is right here. So I'm just gonna drop this track camera, leave it on cell mode. But once again, I will be bringing you the action as my hunts unfold all season long. So thanks for tuning back in to Midwest Whitetail Heartland.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode as much as I did. It really adds the excitement to see you guys out in the field already, and getting good bucks on the ground definitely helps. So I know the rest of us are really excited here. We're only one more off-season episode away from the Illinois-Iowa guys, and we get to hit the field and start hunting, and that sprint starts. We're just bringing you guys action every week, and we really look forward to that. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope if you're out on your farms, you're able to wrap things up for the year and get ready for the season. Then we'll catch you guys right back here next week on Friday for the Heartland Show on Midwest Whitetail. Thanks for watching, guys.